Law of cosines. So much like the law of sines, law of cosines is used to solve triangles. What's the difference between this and law of sines? We use law of cosines when we have no pairs. So if we have a pair, like an angle on its side, you're going to use law of sines. If you don't have any pairs, like you have all sides or you have two sides and angle that doesn't connect, then we're going to use law of cosines. Off the bat, there's 3 equally useful law of cosines. It's just the way you label it, because they're all the same, right? You change b to an a and it's the same thing. So I'm just going to give you this right here. C squared equals a squared plus b squared. Notice they're all sides, minus 2ab cosine c. If you notice, it's basically a Pythagorean theorem with the little added. That's what law of cosines is. Since it's not a 90-degree angle, you have to add little parts to get it correct. Now, keep in mind with this, right? So these are like, oh, if you're looking for A, you do that. Looking for B, you do that. In this case, so you only have C. So my general tip, make whatever side you're looking for, make the angle / side you're looking for C. Right? For all I care, who cares what it is? To make the thing you want or looking for side C, essentially. And then you just use the formula. Now, this formula right here, I'm going to skip past it. It's the exact same formula, but just solved for cosine. So we solve for cosine. So we use this formula. I'll give you both. I'm going to give you this illustrator right here. If you want an angle. So if you're looking for an angle, you're going to use this formula. If you're looking for a side, you're going to use this formula. Now here's the thing about log. We'll actually talk about it in a second. Say it now. Here's the thing about log cosines. We mostly only use it once. Use log cosines once, then you find a side or an angle, and then what happens? Now you have a pair. So like, we're going to use it once right here to find like a side like side B. And then we're going to have the B's. So now I can use law of sines. So log cosines usually just use once to get a pair, and then once you get the pair, you can use law of sines to find the rest. So that's the way it kind of works. So let's look at here, this first one. So solve the given triangle given 2 sides and include an angle. So notice how I have 2 sides and an angle in between. So this is not an ambiguous case since it's 2 sides and an angle between. In this case, there's no pairs, so it's law of cosines, right? I don't have angle C, I don't have side angle A, I don't have side B. No pairs. So law of cosines. So here's my side. Again, that's the angle I have. So I'm looking for a side, and that's the angle I have. So I'm going to use this formula right there. Again, essentially that's your B. That's your C. So this is, everywhere I see a B, I'm just going to plug that stuff in. Then it's, here are my 2 sides, 4 squared and 3 squared, minus 2 times both sides, times cosine of the angle you have, in this case 92. And that's how you plug it in, right? It's C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine C. It's just the 2 sides you have, and that's the angle between. So just plug it all in. Now, look at this. They're all numbers. You gotta put that into your calculator. Don't be a hero, just plug it in. Just plug it into your calculator. So turn it on in my case. You go 4 squared plus 3 squared minus 2 times 4 times 3 times cosine 92. I get 25.87837. Don't forget that it's b squared right there, so you gotta square root that to get the b by itself. And b equals a little bit more than 5 most likely, so let's do square roots of the answer. I get 5.08. I'm gonna look to the nearest hundredth. So that's what b is. Now, if they want to find the missing, so I found B. Now, if they want to solve the triangle they do here, I still got to find A and C, right? Got B. I'm looking for A and C. Now, if you want to use log cosines again, use that formula to find one of the angles. But we have a pair. Since now we have a pair, I'm gonna do log sines. Right now I have the B's. So I'm gonna go 5.08 over sine of 92 equals, let's solve for a first. A over, 3 over sine of a. In this case, I got to cross multiply. I get 5.08 sine of a equals 3 sine of 92 divided by 5.08 sine of a equals 0.5898. Remember, I gotta get rid of sine. I want sine, not sine of a. I want a, not sine of a. So sine inverse. And a equals, let's do sine inverse here, of the answer, 36.15, 36.15 if you round it correctly, degrees. So that's what a is. Now look at, we did that, Lucky for us, C is easy, right? We have two angles, some missing angles. So you just do 180 minus those two. No need to do law of sines or law of cosines again. Just do 180 minus 92 minus 36.15. And you're going to get it's a 92 minus the answer 51.85. And there you go, that triangle solved. Right? All I did was notice I had no pairs. So I was like, oh, gotta do law of cosines. And I have no pairs, law of cosines. Plugged it all in. Got my B. Once I had my B, now I had a pair, so I could use law of sines again. And once I had that, all I do is find a missing angle. This is the same one, so I'm actually gonna skip it just for the sake of it. It's doing the exact same thing again. Actually, I'll write it. I'll draw it. And maybe let's find one missing side. We'll solve the whole triangle this time. F, G, H. F is 6, so now it's little h. Little h is 4. And G is 82. Once you notice again, this is law of cosines. You have no pairs. I don't have little g, I don't have big H or big F. So I do law of cosines again. And again, first thing I have to do is find my side here. So it's plug into the formula like it's C. So you plug into that formula like it's C. Those are your G's. So in this case, we G squared equals 4 squared plus 6 squared minus 4 times 6 cosine of 82. Again, notice there's no, you just put this all into your calculator, you get G squared equals some value, square root it, and you get your answer for G. Once you do that, you have a pair, do law of sine, and then once you do that, you can figure out the missing angle. So that's the general gist of that one. Let's go on to the next type. And this goes right here. So solve a triangle given three different sides. So if you notice on this one, you have all three sides, you have no angles. Now there's a special rule that comes with this. If you have all sides, special rule is find the largest first. Now if I just say, hey, find angle C, then that's fine. Just find angle C, who cares? But if I want you to solve the triangle, then the rule is you have to find the largest angle first. There's a reason for that. It's because largest angle might be obtuse, and only cosine can do obtuse angles. Sine and tan can't do it. Sine can't do it. So law of sine is not going to work. So you have to find largest angle first so that cosine can do it. And that's what happened here. So notice I have all sides missing. I got to find the largest angle first. I'm going to use my cosine rule right here. This one right there. Cosine C equals a squared plus b squared minus c squared all over 2a. Now again, the trick is treat that one like that's the angle you have or you want. You have to find largest angle first. So I'm actually going to try to find a here. So it's going to be, following the formula, cosine of the angle you want to find equals the other two sides squared minus the side you have squared all over 2 times the two sides you don't have. But just kind of following the formula. Right, wherever A is, I plug it in for C. That should be an A right there, sorry. I just plug it in there. So that's A, that becomes an A, and then you just kind of fill in the rest. Just plug into the formula. Now how do you plug that in? Now, easiest way to do it in our calculator is this. Alpha y equals, little fraction bar, 14 squared plus 10 squared minus 20 squared over 2 times 14 times 10. And I get negative 13 over 25, or some decimal, who cares? And then we have to solve that like we solve everything else, right? The way you get rid of cosine, because I want a, not cosine a. Looking for a is do cosine inverse. A equals, so cosine inverse of my answer, 111.8 degrees. So this is 111.8. So that says. And now if you want to solve the rest of the triangle, if you want, you can do law of cosines again to find one more angle, or you can just do law of sines. You do have a pair now if you want. So if you want to find the rest of the triangle, you can just do law of sines. Again, there's no rule against doing law of cosines again. If you like it, go ahead. I'm gonna do law of sines now. So I have a pair. So I'm gonna do 20 over sine of 111.8 equals, let's solve for b first. 14 over sine of b. Right, I'm gonna cross multiply. I get 20 sine of b equals 14 sine divided by 20 divided by 20 sine of b equals, put that all into your calculator, and you get 0.6499. Again, try and get rid of sine. I just want angle. I just want the angle. So second inverse sine of the answer. You also put second answer for answer, by the way. And you get b equals 40.54. Just rounding it to near hundredths. So I get that. Again, I have angle A, I have angle B. If I want to find angle C, that's the easiest one. All you have to do is 180 minus the other two. So I'm just do 180 minus 1.1.8 minus 40.54. I get 27.66. And that's how you do law of sines when you have all sides. So those are two types of law of sines. One of them, you're looking for a side. So again, no pairs, law of sines. No pairs, law of cosines. If you have a pair, you can do law of sines. So if you have no pairs, you can do law of cosines. If you're looking for a side, use this formula right here. Just plug it in, putting it all into your calculator. Don't forget to square root it. And once you have that, you have a pair. You can do law of sines if you want. Other one is when you have all sides. If you have all sides, again, still no pairs, so law of cosines. Use the other formula. I'm gonna give you both. Use the other one because you're looking for an angle. Remember, the angle you're looking for first is your C, kind of. And if you have all sides, you generally want to look for the biggest angle first, unless they ask you for a specific angle. And again, same idea. Once you find your angle, now you have a pair. We can do law of sines. So last step, let's talk about which one are we gonna use: law of sines or law of cosines. So look at this first one. A, B, C. Let's just fill it out real quick. Little a is 5. Little b is 11. And then C is 8. I have all sides. Law of cosines. Remember, that's how you spell cosines correctly all the way out. Let's see the next one. In a football game. So this is like a word problem. Probably the last one we're doing. Second to the last one we're doing. Let's look at this one though. In a football game, the quarterback is 20 yards from receiver A. So here's my QB1. It's my little Matt Saracen right there. So this is Sage right here. He's 20 yards from receiver A. So 20 yards apart. Here's receiver A. He turns 40 degrees to see receiver B. So like, they're not saying he physically turns. It's like moves his head 40 degrees probably. And there's receiver B. Probably should just put B and A. He's 16 yards away. This guy's 20 yards away. How far apart are the two receivers? So we want to find this. Like, we're working for sports science, and we're trying to figure out this thing here. Well, first question I asked yourself is a law of sines, law of cosines. If you notice, there's no pairs. This angle goes there, nothing there. This is law of cosines. All I want to do is find this. So we're going to use law of cosines. Again, the thing you're looking for, which is this, is your C. The formula is this. You just kind of plug it all in. C squared equals A squared. That would be 20 squared plus 16 squared minus 220 times 16 times cosine of 40. Again, that just all goes into your calculator. Plug it all in, you get C squared equals 165.731. Now again, notice it's C squared, so you get square root that. And C equals square root of that, square root, answer 12.87. So the receivers are 12.87 yards apart. So that's how you work a word problem with this. Now, last one here, we're going to set up, we won't solve all the way. So how would I solve this one? Again, all I want to do here is find C. Now I have a pair. Now I do have a pair, so I have a law of sines, because a pair right here. Pair. So law of sines. I'm going to do 12 over sine of 107. Don't forget the sine. Equals, now here's the problem though, I only have one side here. So that's 8 and sine and angle B. So I do 8 over, gotta work with what you have, sine of B. Let's solve this, right? Cross multiply, 12 sine of B equals 8 sine of 107 divided by 12. Sine B equals some answer that I'll put in my calculator in a second. Alright, so I gotta get B, not sine B. So let's sine inverse of both of those sides. I get B equals, did it all on the calculator right there, 39.61 degrees. Now, again, I gotta find C, so what am I do next? Well, again, I gotta find angle C. So let's do 180 minus these two. So capital C, 180 minus 107 minus 39.61. And I get 33.39. That's the angle right here. And now finally, if I want to find C, I can do lots of ways actually. I guess I could do law of cosines now. We could do one more law of sines, right? I could do 12 over sine of 107 equals C over sine of 33.39. Luckily, this one's an easy one to solve. Just multiply both sides by sine of 33.39. So let's just get 12 divided by sine of 107 times that by sine of 33.39. And we get C equals 6.91. That's it. That's for the lesson. That's it for the videos for the year. For Go So Out.